Hey, welcome to Realtime Workflows. I'm MX Bell. I worked on Deadpool and Wolverine, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, 1917, Hobbs and Shaw, Wheel of Time, Little Mermaid, No Time to Die, tons more. What you're going to get in the channel are my pro tips and how I use Unreal Engine to make films. So let's get started. Let's make some stuff. See you down the road. Okay, let's talk about what are level sequences. For all intents and purposes, I mean, this is a game, it's a video game. A level sequence is a sequence that occurs inside a level, right? And that's basically what it used to be. Effectively, it's a cutscene, right? If anyone's played video games, will remember, cutscenes. That's what they were, right? A little bit of cinematics. So it's called a level sequence in Unreal Engine. It is quite confusing, I find, to call it a level sequence. You need to think of it as a shot, which is why I've in my starter pack, which you can get the mailing list by signing up below, I've put them in a shots folder, right? So what's a shot and a sequence and everything else? A collection of shots is a scene in film, right? And a collection of scenes is a sequence, and a collection of sequences is an act, and a collection of acts is a movie, right? It kind of breaks down like that. And in Unreal Engine, it's shots make up sequences, and if you're making an entire film in Unreal Engine, the sequences will make up the film. So don't think of it as a sequence. It's a shot. You can have, just to complicate matters, you can have a level sequence that is a sequence of shots, which are also level sequences. So it gets confusing. It can get confusing. One bad bit of advice I found generally, you can look at the video on naming conventions. There is this thing up here. If you click on this clapperboard, one of the options is you can add a level sequence with shots. If you want to do that, then go for it. I'll show you what it does. You click on that and you create level sequence with shots, right? And so it creates you this master sequence with shots, and it's basically then these are sub shots. They're kind of nested. You can see a sequence root and then these shots. You don't need to use that function to get this. This is a byproduct of anything else. You can open any level sequence and put another level sequence inside it, right? If you're going to do your edit in Unreal Engine, then you would have something that looks like this, but I wouldn't use that to get there. You just create in your shots, and then after you've got so many shots, you're going to go, I wonder what this looks like in an edit. And you're going to create a new level sequence as an edit, and then you're going to start dropping your shots in and editing them in the exact same way you would do with any other editing software. So a level sequence is a shot. So what's a sub-level sequence? Technically, these things are sub-level sequences, right? So it's not a sequence that lives in a sub-level. We've talked about levels and sub-levels. It's not that. It's effectively a nested level sequence, and you can nest them multiple deep. Why you'd want to do that, I don't know. Generally speaking, I would advise against it, except for certain scenarios. For example, we've got a shot. We had a shot in here that we were working on in the other video, which is this one, market 1010, right? So we know we've got this guy. We moved him over here, and we've got a camera for him as well, right? Okay, cool. There's another video that we did where we arranged a crowd, right? So we've got this guy. Now one thing we could do is I've got a level sequence that I made where I arranged all the mixed mode characters into a crowd and had them doing stuff. So in theory, we could go add subsequence track, and then we can go and get that track, which with that scene, which lived in that level sequence, which lived in here, and we could drop it in here. And now, when we come around here, all our characters are doing stuff, right? Except that they run out of space. So this would need to be longer, but you sort of get the idea here. Look, they're all doing stuff. That's a subsequence, right? It's a sequence that is nested inside another one. And that's a use that I would recommend. We're not going to go and talk to or meet any of these people in this crowd. Occasionally we might need to move one of them if they're in the way of a shot, but we could deal with that separately. Generally speaking, it's background action that you can reuse over and over again. If you're in a traffic scene, it'd be cars going up and down, right? You'd have that on a sub level. You could have it all baked out and done and dusted, and you just drop it in while your camera is looking at your two characters that you're working on directly. That's a use of a subsequence. And the other main use really is in the context of an edit, where you would put this shot into another sequence, effectively nesting it, and then trim it down to the bit that you want to use, and then do the same thing with your other shots to create an edit. Those are the two cases that I would really advise. There's one other that I have used. I can't show you the video of it because I'm not allowed. Where basically I worked out an entire route. I created the action. We call it the action of the shot, of the sequence, really. And I did it because I put a character on a path, basically. He was riding a bike on a path. And so it just makes sense to do that and have that action there. And then it's a case of like, well, actually, I'm going to put some cameras in it. And what I would do is I'll bring the action in, because I didn't plan on changing it per shot. I brought it in and put it on a subsequence and then put some cameras in. So the only thing actually in the level sequence in the shot was a subsequence and a camera. And that's another way to do it. The problem then is if you want to change that, and this is another reason why we don't do it, if you want to change that, if you click through that sequence now, if I click through this, let's say we've used this sequence in 10 shots, and I come in here and I move James, I move whoever it is, Elizabeth here, right? I move her. She's moved in every shot. I've changed every single shot. So that's a reason to not do it. As soon as you need to change one of them, what I do, if I'm using subsequences for that, is I make a duplicate of it and I give it the ID code of that sequence, of that shot. So in that case, it'd be 1010, right? So I would duplicate this market crowd subsequence. I would just put 1010 at the end. I might even put 1010 and the version just in case I need to change it again. So that I know later on I've made a unique one. It lives and it's just for that sequence, just for that level sequence / shot. It gets very confusing with the names, doesn't it? And I can change it willy-nilly, and I'm not changing any of the other ones. So to summarize, subsequences are good in certain scenarios, but be very careful, because if you click through and change one, it's changing it for every single use of that subsequence, unless you make a duplicate of it that's just for your level sequence that you're working on right now. I hope that makes sense. It's a really important lesson, this one. So if you've any questions, get them in the comments, and I'll talk to you down the road.